pissed. He looks so angry. Oh no. Oh. All he wants is his mommy. That's so cute though. Oh no! Please, why is the news reporter saying this? Oh, that's nice. Oh no, so they're saying Cat Noir isn't the best hero? God damn it, that's not nice. Fuck, but like, that was a leading question. Like, the news reporter did that, you know what I mean? I don't know. No, he doesn't even want to go help. That's so sad. Oh. He doesn't even want to go out now because they're gonna do it without him. Oh, Adrien, that's so sad. Oh, no. That is true. That is true. Oh, no. Why does Ladybug have to yell at him, bro? Damn. No. Really? No, not again. Oh, wait. Ladybug's like, wait a second. What was he saying? Like, she didn't even hear him. She wasn't even listening. She just responded. Uh-oh. Oh, no. What have we done? That's not good. Oh. But see, she has so many responsibilities. So she's overwhelmed. She's stressed, you know? I mean, you kind of yelled at him though, sis. Oh man, Adrien got moldy and squishy. The metaphor. It's a metaphor. No. Oh. Oh. Oh no, everybody's so shocked. No, but who is she gonna pick though? No, not all of the cheese. No. Come on, Adrien. Exactly. I was gonna say, what is the logic here? Yeah, because she can't know Cat Noir's identity, so she can't know the next Cat Noir's identity, obviously. I was gonna say. Oh, Adrien's deleting all his pictures. He does that whenever he gets sad, though. He always recovers them at the end. I don't know if that's gonna work this time, though. Exactly, then she would know who it is. Aw, poor Marinette. You know, like, she was kind of mad at the beginning of the episode. Like, she was kind of being not very nice, but she's clearly overwhelmed. She's sleep deprived. Like, it's a whole thing, you know? Oh, Natalie's walking again. Oh, no. Oh. Yeah, give him 3 days off. It's okay. That's nice, though, that his dad's giving him time off. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. The flag is gonna bring it to Adrien? Damn, they're just lying, like, the bullshit. Oh my god. This is crazy, though. That is true. This makes sense. But, like, what other choice do they have? That is true. Those are facts. Okay. Okay. Tiki looks like she's being held hostage, but like, you know, Marinette's sleep deprived. What other choices does she have? Like, there's no other option. option. So really, what are they gonna do, you know? Oh, poor Adrien. He's just like, he's depressed. Oh. He's just so like, I feel so bad. He just looks. Oh. 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 Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. So an Adrien cat noir. No, because he can change. Exactly. Think about being Adrien, you know? Oh, this is so cute, though. To get an Adrien-centric episode and some, like, bonding. See, but now, like, they're taking all the personality out of him. Like, you know, like, they're making him more like Adrien than Cat Noir. No puns! Ladybug hates puns! Oh, man, this is depressing. Yeah, so now he has to put everything back inside of the box and just be Cat Adrien. This is so sad. No cat puns! Oh, look at this little ponytail! Oh, I like his mask. I don't know about his hair, though. I don't like the hair color. But, like the little, like, the ponytail is cute. I like the outfit. Ah, smart. Uh-oh. Wait. What is that? Wait, he thinks it's the old Cat Noir? They think it's the old Cat Noir, though? Uh-oh, well, that's not good. Oh, no, but that's not Cat Noir. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh. Yeah, it's not Cat Noir. This is pretty cool, though. Now we get to see Ladybug's, like she likes him, you know? Wait, so is this a real cat? I'm so confused. Is this like a kid that's like a furry or like a robot cat? Like kind of like Markov? Oh. 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 Oh, see? Oh, this is so like romantic, but like fucked up, you know? You can see that she definitely likes him too, though, which like hurts a little bit, cause she. Anyway. Oh, see, and now she's stuttering like with Adrien, and so it's like this is not gonna work either, cause now she's in love with him, you know? Oh my god. No! Oh no! Uh-oh. Oh no, it is a senti monster! Oh, see, it was a senti monster. No! That's not good. But see, now that he's gone, she realizes that her judgment was clouded. Exactly. Because now she's in love with him and everything is going bad. Oh. Oh. Too perfect. Oh, this poor kid. Oh. Oh, maybe Adrien can go find the cat. Oh. Oh. This is so wholesome. Oh, this poor kid. Oh, get the one out the cat. That's so cute. Oh. 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 Can't she just know his identity now, though, that it's not, like, gonna be a thing? Like, what if she knew that Catwalker was Adrien? That'd be kind of fun. Since, you know, like, they were giving it back anyway. Like, you know, but it's okay. Damn! Because he realized, it made Adrien realize he has to be Cat Noir. Yeah! Because Cat Noir is Adrien. Yeah! Exactly! They're both Adrien. Yeah! I like that. I really like that. Oh! Come on, just give him a hug! Oh! Oh! Guys! That's good! Yay! All right, everybody, let us get into this discussion now. And I really enjoyed this episode. I thought that it was very interesting. I thought that there were a lot of things that they did with Adrien's character that I really, really liked. And so why don't we just start here with Adrien being super angry, super pissed. But I feel like that we have to talk about something, okay? This season, people have kind of been, I don't know, I don't want to say whiny, but people have been a little rude. Like, people have been like, oh my god, Thomas Astruc hates Adrien. Adrien's getting shafted this season. And I feel like that we have to talk about when something is like a narrative decision versus where it's like a meta decision. Does that make sense? Like, if a writer hates a character and they do stuff to the character that doesn't make sense, that's one thing. But I think that it's funny to see everyone complaining about Adrien getting shafted when it was literally a narrative choice to feed into his character this episode. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't even feel like Adrien's gotten shafted that much, you know, but I've seen people say that, and I feel like that people are angry about things that are for the plot, like they're serving Adrien's character. Like, if you don't want anything bad to happen to him ever, like, I don't know, entertainment is conflict. And so I just feel like that's been really weird to see people be like, Adrien's getting shafted. How dare Miraculous Ladybug do this? Whereas I'm just kind of like, but it's a narrative decision that is going to improve his character. It's going to give him personal growth. And so I don't know. I feel like that, like, on one hand, a good show should make you, like, feel what the characters are feeling. It should make you angry, but on the other hand, I feel like that, like, some of the complaints have just been lacking. I don't want to say literacy, but it's just been lacking something, you know what I mean? Like, people have gotten mad on a very shallow surface level, like, without realizing the fact that this is part of the plot. Like, it's not that Thomas Astruc hates Adrien. This is part of Adrien's character. They are building towards him getting shafted, right? And so I feel like that it justifies the shaftedness because he's been shafted, like, for the purpose of his character development. And that's what I feel like that people haven't understood, or maybe they did understand and they just didn't like it. But I feel like that this is actually important. Like, it's important for Adrien to go through all of this season so we can get here, right? And so I think it's interesting too that the news lady was like instigating this. It's like, where's Cat Noir? Are you guys arguing, right? Like, she just wanted the gossip, you know? And so I feel like that Adrien, like, getting an Adrien-centric episode like this was really, really good because you just see like how depressed he is. And I don't want to see, like, I don't want to see Adrien depressed. I don't want to see our boy depressed. But again, like, for his character development, this is actually very important. And something else that's important is how he acts later in this episode, right? How he acts afterwards. You know, he stays in his room. He doesn't go to school, but we'll talk about that. So skipping forward, Adrien does decide to go out, but he has to be like dragged by Plagg basically out the door. And by the time he gets there, they've already defeated a villain again. Now, what I actually really liked about this scene was that everyone looks so good. Like, oh my God, like Julika is sending me, like everybody looks really good. The animation for this episode seems to be really, really good in my opinion. Like some people have been worried because of the one that's coming out next week, question mark. I don't know when you guys will see this, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, it's coming out, it's the Quillin one. It's the one with Marinette's mom. Like people are saying that it looks super sus, but the episode, like animation for this episode was really good. And you see that like Ladybug's so mad to the point where Cat Noir's like, hey, are you angry at me? And she's like, no, I'm just stressed out because I have to go get 5 Miraculouses back, right? And I feel like this is important too. Is Marinette mean in this episode? Yes, but I feel like that, like, again, it's for the purpose of the narrative versus people are like, wow, like Thomas Astruck is making Marinette like a girl boss that is mean to everyone, or the stuff that I've like seen on the internet in the past couple days, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're trying to girl boss Marinette. They're trying to justify her being like basically a bitch to everyone, but I don't feel like that this episode did that at all. Right? Because she second guesses herself as soon as she does it. She feels bad after she does it. And then at the end, she apologizes for doing it. And we see that she's so sorry for saying it, right? And so I feel like that, like, people just have no, I don't want to say leniency, but like, people, like, they're kids, you know what I mean? She's like 15 years old. Like, yeah, she's having some mental stress and she's snapping at people. Like, people are like, they're either like Marinette did nothing wrong or they're like Marinette is a monster. Like there's no in between for some reason where we can just say, yeah, like Marinette obviously like messed up in this episode, but you know, she's also under a lot of stress. She's clearly under a lot of pressure, and that is clouding her judgment and making like her take actions she normally wouldn't take. Like, there's just no sympathy for like Marinette's mental health at all. Like recently, at least from what I've seen, it's like, I don't know. It's again, there's that no in between thing, right? Because you can be sympathetic for both of them. Like you can be sympathetic at the fact that Marinette is like under all of this pressure, but you can also be sympathetic for how she treats Cat Noir because of that pressure. You know, like really, this is all Hawkmoth's fault. Like he is making these child soldiers continue to fight against him. So I don't know why, like in the community, there's been so much infighting between like the Marinette and Cat Noir like aspect of this. Like everybody's like, Marinette's wrong, Adrien's wrong. Like people are so focused on that. It's like, well, Hawkmoth put them in the situation in the first place. So like, you know, it's Hawkmoth who's wrong. I digress. But yeah, like I like how Adrien does offer to help, but she's like, but you don't know where to find them. I already told them all where to go, right? And so, yeah, then she snaps at him, right? Because she's like, you know, we can't let everybody just go transform, stop wasting my time, right? And then he says, well, you can take my Miraculous when you're done. And she says, that would be perfect, see you later. But then she sees, like 5 seconds later, she's like, wait a minute, what did he mean by that? Like, she wasn't even listening, which again, is her fault. But she's just so, like, stressed out, it didn't even register what he said. And then we see Cat Noir relinquish his Miraculous again. Right? Wait, what does he mean get his Miraculous, right? Like she second guesses. She's like, wait a minute, what is he talking about? Right? But then we see Cat Noir and he's just so sad. Like Adrien's just so sad in this episode. He's just like, he's, you know, it's almost like depression. Like he's just given up, right? He's like completely apathetic, right? And then it's like, no, he wouldn't do that. Wait. Right? And so I do like Kim's like a comic relief right here. He's just like hanging on the wall. But you see that immediately when she actually thinks about it, right? When she's not just in her cloud of stress, she's like, wait a minute, what did he mean by that? And she goes back. And so I feel like Marinette does have redeeming qualities in this episode, no matter what other people are saying. Because, like, even look at this, right? Like, as the camera spins around her, you have Kagami and you have Malen, and they're all, like, in her ear being like, what should I do? Do I feed my Kwame or do you do that? Like, we can see how the stress of the Guardian is impacting her relationship with Cat Noir. And I feel like that's really important. And I love that. She's like, I didn't do anything, right? And he's like, didn't do anything. Of course you did. And so I feel like that's the point where, like, you know, she needed to be told, obviously, by Plagg what she had been doing that hurt his feelings, right? He doesn't want to break Ladybug. He's in love with you, and you're always fighting alongside other heroes, and it's breaking his heart, right? And so, yeah, she's kind of conflicted. She's like, I'm doing my best as the Guardian. It's about the best person, you know, for the job. I guess, though, like, would it really be so bad if, like, Cat Noir just hangs out, you know, even if he's not needed? But I feel like that would make him sad because he would try to be useful and then he would like interrupt like the plan, like the destined plan that doesn't involve him sort of thing. But yeah, I just feel like that this was like, it was important for Plag to tell Ladybug this because she didn't even realize what was going on in a way. And I do like this, like, maybe this won't work, right? Maybe I should find someone that's not in love with me, but then she's in love with him, right? And so that, I actually want to talk about that because I think that's super interesting. But let's skip around a bit, though. So first we see, like, Marinette, and she's just, like, she has the bags under her eyes. Like, clearly she's under a lot of stress trying to figure this out. And so that's why it's, like, I feel like that you're supposed to be, or at least people should, if they have, like, any empathy, they should be sympathetic towards both of them because you can see, like, how, you know, Marinette's duties as the Guardian are impacting her to an unhealthy extent. And that is, like, partly fueling, I guess, her poor decisions or how she, like, snapped at Cat Noir this episode. And, like, even now, she's still, like, she has the bags under her eyes. She's gotten no sleep. And they have school today, right? Because Adrien's like, I don't want to go to school. So now she has to go to school, sleep deprived, right? And so I just feel like there's a balance here, guys. But I think that this is actually very interesting because Adrien is late to breakfast and then Natalie comes into his room. First of all, Natalie has this like robot thing to help with her recovery, and I thought that that was very interesting. But Adrien doesn't even want to go to school. Like, think about that. Think about how much Adrien fought to go to school, especially in like the very first episodes, and like that's something that Gabriel always wants to take away from him, right? Like, you can't go to school anymore. Clearly you can't handle the responsibility of going to school, right? Like, it's all of that. And so when you think about it, isn't it crazy then that Adrien doesn't want to go to school? Like, the one place where he like can escape and kind of like be with his friends and everything, he doesn't even want to see his friends. And I think that that's like insane for this episode, right? Like, when you think about the gravity of that, like, clearly Adrien is like super depressed. And then we have Plag manipulating Ladybug, which I thought was really good. Like, I thought that that scene was great, but we don't need to see all that. So we go back to Adrien, and you even see, like, he can't even, like, stay home and play video games. He's just, like, kind of looking at the screen with a blank expression. Like, he's totally, like, apathetic zombie. Like, we can really see, like, this episode is such an interesting commentary on, like, depression. And depression isn't just sadness. It's, like, apathy, right? And so I think that that's actually very meaningful and very impactful, right? And it reminds me of that. This is gonna sound so weird. Have you guys ever watched Once Upon a Christmas? It's, like, a Disney, like, thing, and there's a collection of 3 shorts. And, like, in the movie, Max, like Goofy's son, makes Goofy think that Santa isn't real, and then Goofy's sad and sitting on the couch, and Max tries to cheer Goofy up with all of the things Goofy was trying to use to cheer Max up. It's like a whole thing. You'd have to watch it to understand, but Adrien just sitting there, that's what it kind of reminded me of, and he hits him with the ring, right? It'll be just like it used to. It can't be like how it used to, Plag, right? And he's just so sad. And see, I feel like that this is kind of a problem, though. This is Adrien's problem, right? It's that he has nothing to live for except for Ladybug, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe that I've gotten from this episode. And I understand, like, being Cat Noir, it's not just about being with Ladybug. It's also being Cat Noir, right? Being Cat Noir means a lot to him. But I do think it is a little concerning, I guess. And I feel like we will dive into that one day, probably. But I feel like that, yeah, that is a little concerning, that it's like Adrien has no other motivation in life. He has nothing else to live for without Ladybug. And so I think that maybe, I don't know if they'll get into this because this may be a bit too complex, but I wonder if they'll get into like the codependency of it all, right? Or like that Adrien only enjoys his life when he's Cat Noir. Like, even like without the Ladybug stuff, that's a little concerning. And so I feel like that maybe the end goal will be for like Adrien as Adrien to enjoy his life in the capacity that he can, you know, like maybe that'll involve having to rebel against his father from time to time, right? Like, just being normal, I guess, like being a normal kid, which is what Adrien doesn't really get to do, because I feel like here's the thing, right? Is that Adrien has clung on to his identity as Cat Noir because that's the only time where he gets to like let loose, have fun, be like outgoing, like all of that sort of stuff. The things he can't do as like perfect Adrien, right? But, right, when you lose that outlet, he's become depressed. And so I feel like the solution here isn't just to bring Cat Noir back so he's, like, happy, but to actually try to find happiness in his life as Adrien that balances, like, his life as Cat Noir. Does that make sense? So I feel like that maybe that's where we're going in the future. Because it's still not healthy for him to be like, well, I'm Cat Noir again, so I'm happy. Like, he has to find something outside of just being Cat Noir that makes him happy, right? Because then what happens, like, when Hawkmoth is defeated and Paris is saved? Like, this man needs another purpose. That's basically what I'm saying. He can't just, like, it can't just be for Ladybug, and it can't even just be for Cat Noir. He has to find something, like, outside of this to find the will to live, right? And so they make a new identity, right? And it's like, no puns. I thought that was so funny. Like, he's just like, no puns. What did I tell you? It's like Ladybug hates puns. And like, look how sad he is, right? And this actually reminds me of Lies because like, remember when Adrien did the cat pose to Kagami and Kagami was like, that's not you. And he's like, well, what if when I am goofing around, it is really me, right? And so we kind of got that whole setup from the very beginning that this season was gonna sort of be about that. And like, that has been my thesis in a couple of the theories I did too, if you guys remember, like this idea that Adrien needs to bring more Cat Noir into his Adrien life, whereas Cat Noir needs to bring more Adrien into his Cat Noir life, right? Like that's sort of what I've been thinking about. And that's like the theories that I've been having because you have this thing where like none of his friends like him as Cat Noir, like Nino, right? Like Nino trash talking Cat Noir, like all of that sort of stuff, right? And so Kagami doesn't accept him like as Cat Noir when he shows Cat Noir antics, I guess, right? Nino says like straight up that he hates like Cat Noir in that episode. Obviously Nino was talking out of like anger, but like it still happened. You know, it still happened. It's probably weighing on his mind, right? And so, like, I feel like that's also the problem is that Adrien feels like he cannot show his Cat Noir side as Adrien because people will not accept him. And so Cat Noir is the only what do you say? The only, like, condoned outlet? Like, the only... I don't know how you say it. Like, basically, it's the only outlet. It's the only identity where being Cat Noir is acceptable, right? Showing his Cat Noir side is only acceptable as Cat Noir and not as Adrien because his friends have quite literally told him that, right? In a way. So, I feel like that where we're going is that Adrien will have to blend these sides together, and they even talk about that at the end of the episode. You're not Adrien and you're not Cat Noir, you're both of them, which actually reminds me of something we talked about in class this week, which I won't make this too much of a tangent, but in class, we were talking about this idea that the best characters that you play as an actor are the ones that are not you, but that are not you, right? And so that may be confusing for some people, especially like with the double negative. But what I took it to mean is the best characters are the ones that they're not you because they're, you know, they're fantastical and they're a bit more like spicy, I guess, than real life gets, right? Like they're a bit more fantastical and a bit more play and a bit more like, you know what I mean? Like they're a bit more exciting than your real life. Right? There's something about them that is unlike yourself. And that is like, you know, something that you wouldn't be able to do every day, right? And so let's just say, like, you know, that I want to play like a princess or something, right? A princess is not me. Like, I can be like, oh, like a princess. Like, I can be like that, and I'm not naturally like that. So that character is not you, right? It's not you. But it's also not you. And basically what that means is that you can still bring your own personal experience into that like princess character, right? And so let's just say like this princess is struggling with like, you know, true love or something, or like losing her love, or like, you know, the pressure of like royal duties and responsibility. Like we all feel that, right? Like we all feel the pressure of responsibilities at school, at work. So you just take that and transfer it into the character. And that's what makes it not you, because it's still a little bit of you, right? And so I feel like that, like, let's take that concept and apply it to Adrien, right? Like, Cat Noir is not Adrien, but it doesn't also need to be not Adrien, right? And so I feel like that's what he has to learn. Adrien is not Cat Noir, but Adrien doesn't need to be not Cat Noir, right? And so it's about blending these two things together, and I feel like that's where the show is going, or at least should go. At least I think it should go that way, right? And we've already seen this in the past, like Marinette, like, you know, being her ladybug self as Marinette when Crisis hits, right? We just need a bit more of that blending to happen, and then they'll fall in love with each other, and then also realize, like, I don't know, their identities won't be so separate and everything. And I do think it's interesting about that concept of, like, be how you are with, like, Natalie and your father, right? Because that is basically, like, Marinette being in love with Adrien. She's in love with the Adrien. Marinette is in love with the Adrien that his father and Natalie makes him put on, right? And so I feel like that's actually very interesting. And so I really like this conversation because we get a lot of, like, oh, did you find it funny? It was smart. It was a smart pun, right? So you already see, like, kind of from the get that she kind of wants Cat Noir back, right? That she's just like, this Cat Noir doesn't make any puns. If you want, I can next time I can laugh. It's like she's ordering him. It's like, no, don't force yourself to laugh, right? And so, you know, now she's sort of like, how many siblings do you have? Do you have any hobbies? Like, she's trying to kind of get to know him, because I don't think that Cat Noir gave her, like, that much information, but, like, Adrien, I think, did, like, give her, you know, a little bit of info, you know what I mean? Like, when they first met, or, like, just along their partnership. Like, I'm sure she knows that he likes to play video games or something, but not this Catwalker. Catwalker is like, nope, I'm not telling you anything, right? And so she's like, wow, you are really perfect. But that's the thing, perfection is not fun, question mark? I don't know how to explain this. Here's the thing, though. She keeps saying that Catwalker is perfect, but, like, is perfect fun? And I don't mean fun as in, like, I don't know, that she needs to, like, have fun as Ladybug, but, like, is perfect synergy. Like, part of the reason why Cat Noir and Ladybug work so well, I think, is because they were opposites to a degree, right? Like, and that's even the whole point of the Cat and Lady Miraculous, or Ladybug Miraculous, I should say, right? Like, that's kind of the point of the Miraculous, is opposites attract, right? And so you remove the opposite, and that means you remove almost the conflict that facilitated the partnership. Because I don't mean conflict as in arguing, but I mean conflict as in, like, two different personalities clashing together, and their clash kind of, like, makes the Big Bang in a way. You know what I mean? Like, two objects clash together, but they make a beautiful partnership when they clash together, because they mix together. I know that that's a weird metaphor, but when you think about this, if Catwalker mindlessly obeys Ladybug and is perfect, there's no conflict, I guess. There's no, like, to the extent that there's nothing to bounce off of, right? In a sense, right? Because then it's just having another Ladybug. You know, like, in a way, like, it's not having a Cat Noir, it's having another Ladybug. And so I feel like that's the point, or that's, like, the problem here, is that the whole thing is that Ladybug and Cat Noir are supposed to be, like, yin and yang, like, opposites attract. But if you just make it so he obeys Ladybug all the time, there are no opposites attracting, and that's why this partnership doesn't work. You need Cat Noir's rebellion for this partnership. I think that's the best way to explain it. Yeah, and so what's funny is she thinks that this is Cat Noir, right? Because she's like, she sees the bell, like, why not? Of course it's Cat Noir, right? And so I really thought that this was, like, I thought that this was an interesting conversation. I thought this was also great because she's like, I know him so well. This has to be him, right? I'm sorry, Cat Noir. I didn't realize how sad you were out of all this, right? And so this is, again, like, showing that Marinette is remorseful, right? Like, again, the Marinette is a monster, people, right? Like, she's remorseful. She's sorry. She didn't realize how sad she was. And this is a little sus, right? You know, like, Gabriel being like, Cat Noir, what is she talking about, right? Now he knows that there's some sort of conflict going on between them, which does not make me feel happy inside for the season finale, right? Because we are on episode 23, I believe. If this is to be believed, if this is correct, we are on episode 23, which means we are getting close to the final. And usually the episodes near the finale are build up towards the finale. So I would not be surprised if Hawkmoth is like, Ladybug and Cat Noir are having problems. Like, what if we make them have problems, bro? Like, I feel like Hawkmoth would definitely do that, you know? And so I thought that this was like a really like sad scene because it's like, oh, like he must be really upset because I replaced him, and even Adrien is kind of sad to see her sad, right? Like, it looks like a child's piggy bank. Like, we gotta think straight, you know? And so I like this too. It's like, if he's a sentient monster, won't that be a problem, right? And so you look at the look on his face. He's like, I've never seen Ladybug like this, right? Because she's like, she's not flirting, but she's like embarrassed, you know? And so I thought that this was a great conversation to see between them, because now here's the other thing, okay? This is like the twisty twist that I love. Marinette now gets to see how hard it is to be in a partnership with someone when you are in love with them. And I'm not gonna say she was in love with Catwalker, right? She knew Catwalker for like 5 minutes, right? But she got to see how clouded her own judgment was because of like what Adrien was like doing and how he was acting, right? So when you think about it, maybe she'll have a greater appreciation for like how hard Cat Noir works and stuff, right? Because yeah, he is in love with her, but like you can see how much being in love with someone has clouded your judgment, and Cat Noir is not as bad as Marinette was in this episode. So I think that that's actually very fascinating when you think about it like that, right? When you think about it in that way, Ladybug is realizing how difficult it is to be in a partnership with someone that you're in love with, right? And she kind of failed at doing that, right? Like, she failed to work with Catwalker, and he was clouding her judgment because she liked him, right? And like thought that he was perfect and like was basically flirting with him. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's actually very fascinating, because now in the future, what if Marinette's like, you know, Cat Noir, I see how hard it is. You know, I see how hard it is to be in a partnership when you're in love with the other person, but you do it. Like, you do it all the time, and you don't let it impact your work as a superhero, right? You still like help to save the day and all of that stuff. So I think that that's actually very interesting, right? And so I think that that's important. Maybe the old Cat Noir was more sensitive than it looked like. I thought that that line was really good too, because this is something that I was talking about in the theories I made. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had this like idea that like the reason why it's been so hard, is because Cat Noir kind of puts on this front of like, I'm so cool, nothing ever bothers me, I'm so carefree, and that's why like Ladybug doesn't see him as like serious a lot, right? But there's also something to say there about vulnerability, right? And so I feel like that that's kind of what we're getting at too, is that Marinette never knew, because Cat Noir was not really vulnerable like with Ladybug, right? And so that's also a lesson for the future. Maybe if Cat Noir opened up and stopped trying to put on an act to like make her like fall in love with him, he would be vulnerable enough for her to genuinely like him, right? Because like, say the vulnerability when in season 2 Ladybug rejects him and he's all sad, and so he takes Marinette to like the little picnic he set out. That's like a vulnerability that he does not show Ladybug. He'll only show Marinette. So I feel like that that's kind of important, is that Cat Noir tries to play it off and tries not to be sensitive and like all of that stuff, but in doing so, that is a barrier to the relationship. You cannot have a relationship with someone if you are not vulnerable with them, right? And so I feel like that's important. I love this shot too, and you see like, oh, like how like she's blushing and like romantic and like all that stuff. And I love the cat just rolling away the Ferris wheel in the background. Like, they're so distracted by each other in a way, right? And so, yeah, I just thought that that scene was really, really good. And I think the vulnerability is going to be important in the future. And you can see, like, you know, she's stuttering. She's starting to act like how she acts around Adrien, which is not a good sign. We know that it's not, right? And so I think that that's the important part of this section right here. And you even see, like, she's trying to, like, you know, like she's trying to, like, clear her eyes because this is the only thing her eyes can see. And so I think that that shows us two things, right? It shows us that for Marinette, Catwalker really clouded her judgment, but then maybe it'll also show Marinette, again, how hard it is to work with someone when you're in love with them, and that Cat Noir, he's actually not at a hindrance being in love with her, because that was the whole thing. I need to find someone who isn't in love with me because Cat Noir being in love with me is too much of a hindrance, right, to our partnership. But now through this episode, she actually saw, well, wait a minute, like, Cat Noir never did all the things that I did, you know what I mean, when I was in love with my partner. So, like, Cat Noir has done a good job at, like, kind of bottling up his love and sticking to, like, the mission and the mission at hand in a way. So I think that that's maybe, like, what we could get at, right, is that she's just like, you know, when you think about it, like, I, like, really messed up, you know what I mean? Like, I was really messed up when I was working with the person I loved with. Cat Noir is never that messed up. So really, like, it's, like, him being in love with me is not a hindrance because he has kept it under control. I just never realized how under control he must have tried to make it, right? She never realized before how hard it actually was to be in love with someone that you're working with. And that Cat Noir actually did a pretty good job, all things considered, right? Too perfect. And again, that's what I think is wrong. Too perfect. You need that yin and yang. You need that opposites attracting thing. You need that, again, not conflict as an argument, but you need those conflicting personalities in order to mesh. That's what was wrong with this partnership. And I feel so bad for this kid, but I love this kid's hair and his design. Because, like, they have these beads and they're Cat Noir and Ladybug beads, and he has a little cat onesie, and his cat was lost, and the kid just misses his cat. Right, and then Adrien finds his cat, and it's just so cute, you know? And you see, she can't stop talking about Cat Noir either. Like, she's just all thinking, you know what I mean? She's just thinking about Cat Noir, like, all the time, right? And so I think that that's really interesting, too. And I just love this. I love, like, oh, like, Cat Noir is a lucky guy. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about something because I love his design. I think his design is beautiful, but... right? Some people were like, his hair, though, his hair is ugly. he could have picked, like, brown, you know? He could have hid his hair. But I think that, like, what the writers are trying to express is that Adrien's put, like, almost like a green coat of paint over himself. This is his fake self. This is his fake, like, I'm gonna act the same way I act with my father or Natalie sort of, you know, vibes, I guess. And that vibe calls for, like, a brassy... you know, fakeness, right? And so that's sort of what I got from that, is that, like, that's sort of the reason, is that maybe it's to, again, emphasize the fact that he is, like, kind of hiding his nature right here, right? Like, that he's putting on a facade, and that includes, like, you know, putting on fake hair. And I know that that sounds like a bit of a stretch, but you know what I mean? I don't know what else green means, like, in color theory and stuff, but that's why I think it's, like, off blonde, if that makes sense. Because right now, he's not Cat Noir, he's putting on, like, this front, if that makes sense. And if blonde is Cat Noir, this is, like, the tainted Cat Noir, right? This is Cat Noir as an outlet for him being outgoing and him having a place for him to kind of let loose and be free a little bit. That is Cat Noir being tainted by, you know, him being like, oh, I guess I need to act serious now so Ladybug will like me, and him having to, like, keep everything inside. So I think that that's almost like what it is. It's like his hair is tainted because he was tainted in that moment. His, like, identity as Cat Noir was tainted. And I love this too, because Plag is like, yeah, my plan worked perfectly actually, because now Ladybug realizes she wants you, and you realize that you want you too, right? And so I feel like that was actually really good. And I loved this. Be yourself and he'll be back in 2 cat jumps. And I feel like that this was important, right? He's like, but does that mean Cat Noir's my true self? And there is no true self. And that's what I've been trying to say for, like, this entire season and all of my Adrien theories. Like, you are both of them, right? It's not that Cat Noir is his true self, but Cat Noir is kind of an outlet for part of himself. They're all just parts of himself. Exactly, right? Exactly. One doesn't exist without the other. I actually think that that's super important, because the only reason why Cat Noir exists is because of his life as Adrien. If Adrien didn't go through all the stuff he went through and goes through as Adrien, there would not be a Cat Noir. There would no be Cat Noir. There would be no Cat Noir, right? And so I feel like that that's really important. And I thought that that was a good message to end the episode on, right? Because we're, again, getting into that area where the identities need to be blended, not separated. And so I think that that's just really cool. So yeah, guys, I hope that you enjoyed my analysis for this episode. I really enjoyed it. I had tons of fun. Thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court today. Thank you to all the patrons that support the channel. The patrons help to get videos out like this and quicker. So I hope that you guys will check that out if you're interested. But I just appreciate your comments and your thoughts, all that fun stuff. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.